John, how are you such terrible luck for every team that you like? Do you just are you that, I guess, superstitious?
They're gonna win, so it's not that big of a deal. But clearly, me watching it has an effect on that. And maybe I should stop betting them at the spread as well. Maybe I should take the other team, and then they'll cover that spread, and they'll win by a lot, and Tim Tebow will shut the fuck up for once.
Tim Tebow will never shut the fuck up.
That's true.
His rant on how college players should be doing it for the love of the game instead of getting paid is one of the most infuriating things that I've ever fucking seen. I was so mad when I saw that. But what are you going to do?
The SEC loves Tim Tebow, though, so he's never going to go anywhere, and he'll always be on TV.
It's because that was the last time that Florida was a good team.
Yes, that's correct.
Very true.
You're a baseball guy. Who's going to win the World Series starting Tuesday?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah. No, Brick is not a baseball guy. Okay. Brick is an ideas guy, and that's it. Well,
I hope. I mean, I stopped watching baseball when the Cubs are out of it. But a guy I work with had a Nationals future bet, and he's going to win like $3,500 if they for like $150 bet.
My God!
Yeah, so
he would have to take that in like May.
He took it a while ago, so I'm just kind of hoping Washington wins it. Plus, Bryce Harper leaving and freeing up all that room for them to get all these guys they signed. So it would be nice to see Bryce not win one and Washington finally pull it off.
It's not like they signed some big money.
No, they just made some solid moves, and they've got a bunch of veterans and a couple young guys, and they're just solid pitching, good enough.
But the Nats trolling him on Twitter saying, like, we're going to bring a World Series trophy back to DC, because that's what he said after the Phillies signed him, and he had that Freudian slip where he was like, yeah, we're going to bring a World Series back to DC. It's just I love it.
I'm all about the Natitude this year. I still have the Natter days, so every time I see him playing, I bust out a Natter day and they start winning. It's insane.
So it's actually the World Series is fixed, and Natural Light just paid a shitload of money. It's just a big marketing ploy.
It's smart.
Natter days. It's brilliant. Right in DC. You think politics right there.
Part of me really wanted to see the Astros versus the Cardinals, just because of that whole. First of all, I hate the Cardinals because I'm from Chicago, and St. Louis is a trash town.
Guys, can I just say something?
Go ahead.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Clemson scored. I turned it off. I went up to the bathroom. They had the ball on their own 20. I came back down. They had the ball on Louisville's 8. I watched 2 plays for 2 negative yards. I turned it off, and they scored a touchdown. So I will not be watching the game during this broadcast.
See, you're the reason the Cubs.
I am the problem.
Fell apart at the end of the season is because you were watching all the games.
You're right.
So fuck you.
That's my bad.
Yeah. Anyways,
I want to talk about St. Louis.
Yeah, St. Louis is America's butthole, and I did kind of want to see the Astros take it to them for that whole hacking scandal. That would have been funny, just because the Astros were
living in Charleston, where half the fans were actual Cardinals fans when the Cardinals were hot during those playoff runs was very frustrating.
I visited Eastern when what year was that? When they 2009?
When they won 83 games,
and then they won the
wild card and won the World Series.
I was there for a Halloween party, some shitty bar on the second floor.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yep. Second floor, probably top of the Rock.
I don't know. The place sucked.
I did.
Mark was what's that movie? What am I? Zoolander?
Oh, he was Derek Zoolander.
Yeah, yes.
Amazing. I remember that. Mugatu.
Yes.
Chase Christensen was Mugatu.
Yes, I was there for that.
Fantastic costume.
Yep.
All he needed is a sweater and a wig, right?
What is this? A center for ants? You could just say Zoolander quotes. I miss Halloween.
Yeah, speaking of Charleston, Illinois, though, I did see a news article. I posted this in the Discord. Somebody from Mattoon, Illinois, which is the town right next to Charleston.
Yep.
Mattoon.
He was arrested because he gave the cops a fake name, but he had his real name tattooed on his neck, which is probably the dumbest. This probably should go in best man.
I was just going to say you could have saved that.
Since we're talking about it, I just figured, what the hell?
But he could have said it was his boyfriend's name or his son's name or something else, right?
That would require him to have at least 3 brain cells left, which he clearly. killed with meth.
Yeah, I forgot he was from Mattoon, Illinois, so he didn't realize that his name was on his neck.
That's a pretty good impersonation. All right.
We were there for 5 years, unfortunately.
Rashid, I got to ask you this because I get shit all the time for being a fan of a team that is not from around me. Yep. Why are you a Clemson fan?
It's a great question. I think it started off with baseball. When I was younger, I thought I was good at baseball. Not like, I mean, D3 is okay, but I thought I was like good. And so I was like, I started watching college baseball, and Clemson was always, the ACC was always up there with those like California schools, and just something about them. And then I just started watching them on ESPN. That's when Clemson was kind of hot for football. They were like always top 10. That's when they had
Deshaun Watson.
No, before this.
Okay.
No, this was Thunder and Lightning. They had James Davis and CJ Spiller.
Oh wow.
You remember
CJ Spiller?
You remember? Hey guys, you ever heard of Check Down Charlie?
Yeah.
Charlie Whitehurst.
Uh-huh.
My boy was running it, and that's when like Matt Ryan was at Boston College, and Florida State was hot, Boston College was hot, and they were always that like third team. And that's when the ACC always had a few good teams, and so they'd always go 10-2, which was never good enough, before the this college football playoffs. 10-2 didn't even get you a BCS bowl. So yeah,
BCS.
But I don't know, that's what started it, and then I've just like I stuck it out. I almost gave up on them. Probably like sophomore, junior year of college when they had like Dabo's first or second year. They had like 3 or 4 wins, and then after that they've just been hot. So
you just came in at the right time, and you saw a team that you liked. People give me shit for this all the time because they're like, how can you not be a Bears fan?
Right.
Because I don't fucking care about them. Because I grew up watching Brett Favre play, and I loved Brett Favre.
And that's fair. My buddy Black that's watching right now, TJ Simmons, what up, Hey, what's up, Black? He's a diehard Green Bay fan, and he grew up in, I'm going to butcher it, one of the St. Joe's or Benton Harbor. That's Michigan.
Yeah.
And he's a diehard Green Bay. That's who we lost all the money.
You're not going to be a Lions
fan. No.
Yeah,
that's ridiculous.
But that's how we lost all that money last week, betting on Green Bay, because his dumbass thought it was a good idea. So
they almost covered.
They did almost cover.
It kills me because like everybody is a Duke or a UNC fan.
Yep.
Nobody went to Duke or UNC.
No.
You just like watching them play because they win all the time. Yeah, see?
We can start bashing on Mark right now. Growing up, Mark, who's not here right now, he's in Europe backpacking. I think he's a Rufus Del Sol or whatever their name is. He's a groupie. He's a groupie because I'm watching his Instagram story, and all he's doing, I'll get back to the liking a team, but all I've been seeing is him following some guy or multiple guys. I don't know what it is. I have no idea. I just know he booked a Euro trip so that he could follow them play at these little coffee shops, and I don't get it.
Rufus Del Sol just played at Red Rocks, and my roommate Fife is obsessed with him. He's like, he's from Australia.
Yeah, I don't listen to alternative rock, so I don't know. I don't know what that stuff's about. But so back to, I don't know, Mark's weird. But back to Mark always wore Texas stuff, but it was weird because they were also Notre Dame fans, and I think that's just like the Catholic Irish in him. But he was also a Texas fan, and it's funny because I don't hear him talk about Texas anymore.
Imagine that.
Yeah, it's weird, right? So yeah, Mark's a dumbass. That was the whole point of that story, though.
But Texas was sweet though. At the same time, Vince Young beating Reggie Bush and the UNC was sick. Also,
that was an awesome.
Williams was so sick. Oh my God, he's the coolest when he was in college.
Yeah, this was just my transition into football because the Bears are playing the Saints tomorrow. Have you seen the screen cap of Cameron Jordan that's going around right now?
No.
Google it right now. Cameron Jordan obviously is a stud defensive lineman for the Saints.
Oh, you're talking about his face mask?
No, I'm talking about his actual face.
No.
Look up Cameron Jordan right now. I sent it to my fantasy football league, and the response was, hang on, I got to pull this up so I don't fucking butcher it.
It's like V for Vendetta. Is that what you're talking about?
He said, what in the Jack Sparrow fuck is that nonsense? Because he looks like a goddamn pirate.
Dude, that's actually the most spot on comment you could make to that hipster doofus waxed mustachio curled up all the way with the dreads and like he kind of had crazy eyes too, dude. Well, I like that.
Okay, so I sent that to my sister because I send it to pretty much everybody because why wouldn't you? And obviously. She was like, "Do you think he did the eyes thing on purpose?" I'm like, "You can't do crazy eyes like that on accident."
This is what I thought you were talking about. Zadarius Smith. Did you see him with the internet sucks down here? Did you see his visor he wore at practice this week?
No.
So he's on Green Bay. He's one of their defensive players.
He's a linebacker.
It's a Joker. He's wearing the Joker.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. No, it's sick, though. It's a sick visor.
I don't know how I feel about that. I did see a guy on a motorcycle yesterday wearing a helmet that was painted to look like Venom's face, which was kind of sick. But I don't know. I don't even... how did we even get here?
I don't know, but that visor is actually sick, dude.
Are you looking it up?
I'm looking at it right now. That's actually
it's sweet.
Dope.
It is sweet.
Psychopath. Amazing.
Fuck it. Let's just get into the news. I'm done bullshitting.
All right.
I can't even find my drops anymore.
Bullshit.
Everything's got me turned around because I'm completely redoing this because we talk over each other constantly because some idiot moved to Colorado because they had an opening for a village idiot.
News to us. Killing that role too.
Yeah, you are.
Loving me out here.
Any more mushrooms lately?
Nope.
Idiot. All right, let's talk about some movie trailers. This is a really slow news week, so we're gonna digress a lot.
Okay.
But Brick, this is your speed, I guess. Jay and Silent Bob.
Yes, it is my speed. I just watched the remake of this, the Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, like probably a month ago, because I actually I don't think I saw it before, honestly.
What?
The Jay and Silent Bob.
Strike Back?
I didn't see either of them, I don't think, but I just started watching that one because I saw the trailer for it like probably a month ago or something like that. It was coming out. So I was like, I'll check it out. And I think it's 100% my speed.
I feel like Kevin Smith is just right in your wheelhouse at all times.
When they open up showing MFing Ashy Larry as a cop, I'm like, slam dunk, sold, let's go. Alley-oop to Ashy Larry, Vince Carter, 360 through the legs. See ya, I'm sold.
That's what I was going to say about this, though, is it looks like it's almost it is a parody of a Jay and Silent Bob movie, but it's a parody made by the same people that made the original.
And wasn't that like the original? Wasn't that the exact same thing? I got a feeling they're going to do literally the exact same scenes. And it looks like Jay actually got the same like plastic surgery as like people from the Real Housewives. Do you see the way he looks?
Jason Mewes, insane. Yeah. This is like Scary Movie 4 level parody, but more cameos, I guess. The original was supposed to be a joke making fun of Hollywood, and this is a sequel where they make fun of sequels in Hollywood. It's very meta. It's
kind of spot on and super meta, obviously.
We always say that we need a good comedy, and maybe this will be it. I don't know.
I love Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. I thought that movie was hilarious. I watch it probably once a month. And
wow.
Yes.
Frequent, dude.
It's hilarious. $15, little man. Put that shit in my hand.
You don't watch any movies, so I don't
watch movies, but I watch some movies, and the movies I watch are like Jay and Silent Bob. And watching this trailer.
We love to get the experts over here at the Chumpcast.
This movie is going to suck.
Oh yeah.
But I'm going to watch it, and I'm probably going to go watch it in the theater just because that I love Jay and Silent Bob so much. This movie's going to be awful, though.
Yeah, I would probably agree with that. That's funny, though. I just skipped right over it. I was like, I assume this is Brick's wheelhouse. I didn't think for a second that would be you.
I'm getting some feedback.
We good?
Sorry, is that better?
I'm good now. Yeah.
Master of the clip.
It's like crackles and shit.
Yeah, my bad. Okay, trailer number 2. The only reason I'm really talking about this.
Wait. I didn't start mine up again. I paused it for a second.
No big deal. It's not like we're streaming this live or anything.
We'll wait.
Right, I think I'm back. All right, I'm back.
Great. Let's talk about Bombshell. And the only reason I'm really bringing this up is because it's written by the same guy who co-wrote The Big Short, which is one of my favorite movies pretty much of all time because I'm a finance nerd. Everybody knows, well, most people know what a piece of shit Roger Ailes was. He was like the head of Fox News for a long time. And this is Fat John Lithgow. I assume that's a fat suit, right? Because the makeup looks really good and he probably didn't put on that much weight.
I didn't even recognize him in the trailer.
Really? Oh, yeah, look, Mark's in the chat. Can you imagine going to Europe with your wife?
Rufus Del Sol to their following, or Del Rey, whatever it is.
Lana Del Rufus. Yeah.
Hey, so, Dan, thanks, by the way.
Imagine going to Europe with your wife and you're like, hang on, we got to stop going through Amsterdam right now. I got to check out this podcast that's streaming on Facebook.
And 2 of the 3 people in are my buddies, so shout out me.
All right, Bombshell. This has got a pretty good cast, though. Margot Robbie, Charlize Theron, Nicole Kidman. I saw Kate McKinnon in there.
I say Charlize Theron looks exactly like Meg Kelly.
Yes.
Like, so I did a double take. That's how good the makeup was. I was blown away.
Same with Gretchen What's-Her-Face. I mean, they look spot on. So, I don't know. This is interesting. It's enough for me to go see it. This is kind of in the same vein, like I said, The Big Short and wow, I'm having a total brain fart. The one we saw about the ex-vice president, Vice, duh.
Right.
Yeah, that makes sense. So, yeah, I'm in for this.
Yeah, I'm sold too. It looks like a good tension building, recent current event. I'm sold on it. They have some great actors and actresses in this.
Yeah, but you got to be in the right mindset to watch. This is kind of like a political comedy, right? Kind of comedy, like dramedy.
Okay.
So you got to be in the right mood to sit through somebody kind of preaching, for lack of a better term.
Yeah, I guess.
Is this going to cause like a riff when the movie comes out?
Why?
Are women going to just start like joining back together like this? They didn't know this ever happened.
That's
what I was thinking when I was watching. Not only are the women very hot in this movie.
Well, that's the Fox News trope, though, is that all of the anchors
they're all hot. Otherwise, they wouldn't have got the job.
Yeah, they're all blonde, and they basically are clones of one another. So I don't know. It's hard to talk about movies like this without just going political. So I try to stay away from them. So
that checks out.
All right, let's do proper news. John, you told me, I sent you the notes on this episode last night. You're like, I don't have any idea who any of these fucking people are.
No, I have no idea. So you just go ahead. I'm going to sit here for a second and watch Clemson give up a field goal to Louisville.
Great. Brick, I'm going to speak directly to you during this segment.
Cool.
John Krasinski is going to write, direct, and produce a movie called Imaginary Friends. So he's going to star alongside Ryan Reynolds. You know The Office, right, John?
Yes.
Okay, John Krasinski.
Jim.
Oh, cool. I like that guy. Yep.
And you know Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, I know Ryan. Fuck yeah, I know Ryan.
Man, I don't know. You're like...
I know about 8 actors.
Okay, perfect. Well,
3
he's
actresses.
One of the top 8 then. So the premise for this is that Ryan Reynolds can see and talk to forgotten imaginary friends, and apparently some of them turn evil, and it's kind of his job to just save the planet. So he's kind of going out there with, like, he's going to be in that movie where he is a non-player character in a video game. He's kind of going out there with these weird, over-the-top ideas. He was Detective Pikachu, obviously, so I'm kind of here for this.
I am as well. I think, is this like originally written, and is this like a take on something, or?
Not to my knowledge. I'm not familiar with anything that this could possibly be based on. This sounds pretty original, based on a John Krasinski idea, but I could see them starring together.
Did he write that Quiet movie?
John Krasinski wrote and directed A Quiet Place, yes, and he's doing the sequel.
Okay.
So it's not like this is his first.
More of a comedy, or do you think it's gonna be more of a kind of a thriller, like he's a psychopath kind of action movie?
I would imagine if you're talking to imaginary friends who have been forgotten, it's probably a comedy.
Okay. Yeah. I'm curious to see what kind of imaginary friends they bring up. I'm sold on this. I'd be down.
Agreed. Brick, I know you love Zoe Kravitz.
Woo.
How can you not? From Big Little Lies, Fantastic Beasts, she is our next Catwoman.
I love that idea. She's like sly and mysterious and like chic. I could see her being very good and like believable as Catwoman. And now, what
interesting
Batman series is this like being part of? Like, this is the Robert Pattinson one, or
correct?
What's that? Is that tying in with anything else, or is this a new original take on Batman?
I have no fucking idea. Nobody seems to know. Although Matt Reeves, so Robert Pattinson is going to be Batman, and he was being interviewed, and he just kind of sounds like an idiot. Here's his quote. Robert Pattinson on playing Batman. Batman's not a hero, though. He's a complicated character. I don't think I could ever play a real hero. There's always got to be something a little bit wrong. I think it's because one of my eyes is smaller than the other one. That means nothing. But he's talking about Matt Reeves. He says, I love the director, and it's a dope character, which basically, it sounds like somebody's interviewing you, Brick. Somebody's like, yeah, it's dope.
Yeah, he's a cockeyed idiot.
He goes on to say his morality is a little bit off, which I completely disagree with. He's not the golden boy, unlike almost every other comic book character. There is a simplicity to his worldview, but where it sits is strange, which allows you to have more scope with the character. This guy's an idiot.
Sounds like a lot of bullshit. It's Batman, but I'm complicated. I'm a dark soul.
Batman is like, you cannot question Batman's morality. Like, he's his moral compass is supposed to be wedded, like everything. Him and Superman.
What guy got them to the light?
They go about it in fucked up ways, but whatever.
He doesn't use guns. Is he going to kill people? Was there a Batman where Batman kills people?
Justice League.
Guns?
Well, no. He's not supposed to kill people, but when they made Justice League, they were just like, fuck it. He'll shoot people with his gun on his car.
Mark is biting his tongue right now. Like, he's like, I wish I was there.
Well, tough shit. He shouldn't have gone to Europe. More Batman news, though.
Oh, boy.
Jonah Hill is out. He was supposed to play either the Penguin or the Riddler, and I guess talks fell apart. I don't know. Originally, the rumor was that Jonah Hill was going to be the Penguin and Seth Rogen was going to be the Riddler, and that just sounds like another buddy stoner comedy, so that would not have made any sense, but
yeah, that would have been amazing.
Damn it, I don't have his laugh up right now.
Sold out and bought so many tickets to that. But
oh shit, I lost his laugh. Whatever, anyways. Instead, Paul Dano, who is from Little Miss Sunshine and Brick's favorite movie, Looper,
woo,
is your new Riddler. I don't know anything that this guy's been in. I mean, I just said those movies, but I couldn't pick him out of a crowd. If we were in the mall and we walked past him, I'd be like, that's just a dude.
Just a dork, honestly. But how do you want the Riddler to be portrayed? Do you want him to be like dark and mysterious, or do you want him to be more like a wacky guy? You know, kind of like
because we already had the Jim Carrey thing, which was. Right. I mean, the movie was terrible, but that was a fine portrayal, I guess, of Edward Nygma. And I don't know. This movie is going to be in that same dark kind of universe that we've been getting from Aquaman, and probably not as dark as Joker, but you get what I mean. It has to be a little bit darker, where he's sadistic. Like, if you did the Hush storyline, you can open that. It's fine. People on the stream have heard a beer can open before.
I know. I just didn't want to cut you off.
No, it's fine.
All right.
I don't know, Brick, do you have any excitement at all for this new Batman movie from Matt Reeves?
If it was to do with like maybe the Riddler's kind of like a Saw type of Riddler, where he's kind of like putting people in these ridiculous kind of traps. It doesn't have to be as like bloodthirsty as, you know, what Saw became. But if it was something along those lines, I could get behind that as a creepy, like maybe Batman's conflicted about how he goes about saving these people that are kind of half bad, half people, you know? I don't know.
Right,
that
you
would
want
be
torture
something
porn.
I'd be
Got it.
interested in.
That's what you're about, is torture porn.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's why I got the big screen, so I can watch it in the biggest, most megalodon torture porn of all time.
Yeah, and you project it on your wall, and it's perfect.
It's huge. Yeah, I leave the windows open too, just so everyone can see it.
Brick, this is also for you. Taika Waititi is coming back as Korg in Thor: Love and Thunder.
Damn it! I was gonna look up the Korg quotes because I thought Korg was so funny. He's so dry. For people who don't know who Korg is by name, he was the rock character that was in the gladiator pit with Thor.
Yeah, not
Thor
the
Ragnarok.
Rock, but he's made of rock.
He's made of rock. Yes, not the Rock, who isn't even in Marvel. You jabroni. Rock.
Nice pull.
That was nice.
Nice pull.
He's the man. I think. Who was? Do anyone know the voice actor behind it? Like, was he
Taika
just a random?
Waititi. That's what I just said.
Waititi. Da, 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 da. So happy he's back. Let's go. Did you end up seeing that Rabbit movie, Jojo Rabbit?
I have not yet. I didn't make it this week. I have to see it. It's so stupid and over the top. Like, there's no way I can't pay to go see that in theaters. So I promise I will this week.
Okay, same.
I know I said that last week.
Do a little. We should do a bonus one, and we should promise it on air right now that we're live.
Okay. Well, hold me to that then. Also, I said we were going to do episodes covering the Watchmen series, which starts tomorrow, and we'll probably do that eventually as well. But anyways,
maybe we're liars though.
We're probably liars. This is a weird one. Brick, you know who Daniel Kaluuya is, right? From Get Out and Black Panther?
Yes.
His production company, called 59%, is making a live-action Barney movie about a stuffed purple dinosaur. What?
It's creepy.
This is his quote on Barney. Barney was a ubiquitous figure in many of our childhoods. Then he disappeared into the shadows, left misunderstood. We're excited to explore this compelling modern-day hero and see if his message of "I love you, you love me" can stand the test of time. What dark origin is Barney the dinosaur going to have?
I freaking cannot comprehend what that would even be. Like, would Spyro be his long lost son or something weird? Like the purple dragon. What is this? I don't even know. Is he a pothead? Purple dragon? I mean, where does Barney go? That's a good question.
What if he end of Game of Thrones, Drogon just flies off to the island somewhere, and that's where he meets Barney the dinosaur? Or this is just a Jurassic World plug somehow.
Nice to each other instead of burning people to death.
And then he just fucking eats everybody.
I forgot how Barney sounds.
That was actually pretty good. Pretty accurate.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's dope.
That could be a little thing that you do. You get that costume and you do some birthdays. I don't know. In Colorado, they're doing some weird shit. So
yeah, nobody can tell that you're on mushrooms.
The rodeo as Barney.
Nobody can tell that you're on mushrooms. They just think you're acting normal.
Zero zilch. Yeah, there's a guy in a Barney suit. That's pretty. Yeah, that checks out.
All right, I have some pretty disheartening news about John Cho. Filming on Cowboy Bebop, the Netflix TV series, is being put on hold for 7 to 9 months following John Cho blowing out his knee. That sucks. Yeah. I know, Brick, you don't care about Cowboy Bebop. Mark and I are very excited about this, and I think John Cho is perfect.
John Cho's the man. I think he's great. And he's funny. And he's a great actor. And I was looking forward to it. Not to the extent that you super nerds are, but it is what it is.
Yes, I am a super nerd. Do you remember how good Searching was? I feel like that was such a great movie that just nobody talks about it anymore.
I thought it was a little overrated by you guys. It was solid.
Well,
I saw it now. It was solid.
You're the worst. So you don't care about this at all, even though this is probably going to be a great series?
You talking to John or me? Because I just
I'm not talking to me.
Do you honestly think that John has any fucking idea who John Cho is or what Cowboy Bebop is?
I looked it up and it looked pretty fucking stupid. That's all I know. Sorry, bud.
Why did I even agree to let you come on this episode?
I don't know. You were desperate.
I'm here with two people who don't know shit about movies. Perfect.
You and John over there.
Yes, I'm here with me. You know what? Let's just move on.
I'm not with you right now. I'm in Colorado, sir.
Worst.
The worst. She's the worst person in the world. Huge skank, terrible, but thank you.
I'm not even going to set this up. I'm just going to play this audio for you.
In more than 6,000 episodes,
12 years. I've been trapped in a loveless marriage for the last 12 years.
Excuse me? Did we hear that right?
I've been trapped in a loveless marriage for the last 12 years to an old battle axe named Kim. She cursed my life with 3 stepchildren named Star, RJ, and Ryan, and I have 1 rotten grandson. No wonder.
That is the all-time best introduction for someone on Wheel of Fortune talking to Pat Sajak. Calling your wife a battle axe isn't like, that is not a joke. This man is dead serious.
She's a battle axe. I love that, actually.
That is something that we need to bring back into lexicon of today. Calling someone a battle axe.
She cursed him with 3 children and
3 stepchildren.
Stepchildren and
so
one.
That's how you know he's dead serious, is because he calls them out as his stepchildren.
Oh.
You strive to be that man soon. Just to be that bluntly angry.
Yes, I'm definitely striving to be in a loveless marriage with stepchildren.
Yeah.
Brick, who's your best man alive?
I have a worst college alive again. Just Iowa. This 20-year-old kid got arrested for bringing in the McLovin ID. And rather than just like taking the freaking ID and being like, okay, this is clearly hilarious, and just letting him either go in or just like not even denying him, don't bring him to jail. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
So was it a worst cop alive? Like, was he at a bar and the bouncer called the cops?
So that's basically, he had a fake ID and got denied for having a fake ID. And then basically let's see.
Didn't they like see it when he was flipping through his wallet or something ridiculous?
Nothing like it. He looks nothing like it either.
So this is a worst cop / bouncer alive for sure.
Yeah, that's the goal here.
These cops were not like the cops in Superbad where they were super cool and didn't give a shit.
Like, it's so funny you just let it go.
Actually, yeah, that's really unfortunate.
You know, I was a bouncer in college and nobody gave a shit. Unless you knew the cops were coming that night to raid your bar, nobody gave a shit because I wanted you to come in, I wanted you to spend money, and I wanted you to tip, so I would get paid for putting up with your dumb ass throwing up in the toilet at fucking 11:30 at night.
That was a nice brag by you, by the way.
What?
You're a bouncer because you're so swole?
Yes, that's definitely a brag that I was a bouncer at a shithole bar in college. Jesus, man. Aim higher.
At Eastern, you can't aim much higher, so you basically fucking broke through the roof.
Well, you've been to Eastern.
I have been.
Everyone at Eastern is a giant person, like the average size of people at Eastern. It's because everybody that went there couldn't get into a better school. We were all idiots.
Mm-hmm. All idiots.
And all the smart kids went to like U of I or something.
What was the acronym for it?
I have no clue what you're talking about.
Easiest Illinois University or something like that?
That definitely sounds right.
I think that was when Mark's sister Jill, shout out Jill, no offense to you, but when she went there and Mark was looking at it, I think we gave him a bunch of shit, which like Mark was a smart guy. He's much smarter than me, but it was just funny. You know, you make fun of your friends.
Again, aim higher.
Yeah.
But anyways,
I have two headlines I want to read. Just the headlines.
Let me wrap up on your Iowa story though, real quick. Have you ever been to Iowa City?
Yeah.
I hate it. I dated a girl that went there, and that town fucking is terrible.
I went there for one tailgate. I walked through the gymnasium, set off the alarm on accident, and then went to the game.
That is the most brick story I've ever heard.
Mm-hmm. It was great. Okay. Fantastic. I had a great time, honestly.
All right, go ahead with your headlines.
Broomfield woman bites off ex's finger, posted on Facebook.
Okay.
I'm going to leave it
presented without comment.
Yep. And then Toronto police are looking for this human caught humping the bumper of a speeding car. Video attached. And leave it at that. Look it up at your leisure if you want. just some interesting headlines. Thought those were hilarious.
We're giving out a lot of homework this episode. You got to go look up Cameron Jordan and his pirate ass. You got to watch this guy humping a bumper of a car.
The Darius Smith visor, the Joker visor's sick.
It's sweet. Yep.
John, do you have a best or worst person alive?
Yes. So before I do that, I just want to say this guy could qualify, but at the same time, he's a shitty person. I don't know, like we were just talking about colleges and college football. This isn't my guy, but this is hilarious. Did you see the kid who called in the bomb threat?
Oh, because his buddy was
about to lose a huge bet. So he thought it was a 19-year-old. He was able to he processed this and thought there were no consequences. So he called in a bomb threat to help his buddy out. I mean, I think that's pretty cool. I would never do that for Mark. I was his best man, and I would just let him lose that money.
Same.
I'm not taking the fall for him being a dumbass and making a stupid bet.
Brick, do you know this is like Badger and Skinny Pete going back to last week being the best friends but also morons. Yep. Because you've got a guy that will do anything for you, but also he's a fucking idiot.
Spot on. Oh my God. That is Skinny Pete and Badger. Factoid.
Speaking of bets, Clemson is now up 17-3. If I would have taken the first half, 13.5 point spread. I'm not a mathematician, but I think I would have fucking hit.
90% of the things that you've said since you've gotten to my house have been about your degenerate gambling, and I just want to tell you that I appreciate you because usually I'm the only one talking about that.
I got you. All right, now I'm going to move on to my actual best person alive. This guy, Shea Bradley, rest in peace, in Ireland. He died. And it wasn't like a sudden death. Like he had an illness and it was spiraling down and he was about to pass away. Well, I guess he was just a hilarious guy. And so he made a recording of himself. Okay, so as they're lowering the coffin, his daughter or somebody, I didn't read the whole thing, they put the recording in there and like press play. So they're lowering it down. He's screaming, "Where the fuck am I? Let me out. Let me out. It's fucking dark in here. Is that the priest I can hear? This is Shay. I'm in the box, not fucking in front of you. I'm dead."
That's amazing.
And that is like, everybody jokes about like, oh, when I die, like my dad always said, oh, when I die at my funeral, I want strippers and I want like you guys better celebrate. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well, this is like the ultimate, like,
that's
gotcha guy. Like, this is fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
Imagine being there. Like, he just died, and then all of a sudden you hear his voice. You're like, oh my God. And he's like, got you, motherfuckers. I'm dead, bitch.
That's horrifying to be. First of all, like
they're in Ireland. They're all hammered.
Ireland doesn't take anybody seriously, and all of their funerals are probably celebrations. So,
my grandpa wanted me to put the little fart box in his coffin and make fart noises.
I've never understood paying for a big funeral. Like when I die, just throw my body in the river and spend my inheritance on a kegger or something. And this is on the record. This is recorded, so I'm not joking.
Yeah, be Danny DeVito. Just throw my body in the trash.
100%. Back from whence I came. All right, I have one other story, and it's not really. It's not really relevant to Best Man Alive, but I don't know, something about this just fucking cracks me up. So Theo Epstein is the president of baseball operations for the Chicago Cubs, and he is now being sued. So all of this is public because it has to be filed publicly. He's being sued by somebody that rented to him a house in Scottsdale, Arizona, for spring training. And the people are claiming that his 10-pound rescue dog caused $75,000 worth of damage by peeing all over the house.
It's a lot of piss.
$75,000 fucking dollars. And they're going back to something that he said, like as a joke in an interview. His quote was Buster only asked him a question about how he was going to, control the locker room or something. He was like, "I can't even get my dog to stop peeing in the house." And they're
using that,
quoting this in the lawsuit. It's funny. Hilarious. And the more you read about the story, Deadspin covered it brilliantly because apparently when they got out there, the house was infested with these miniature scorpions, hundreds of scorpions. So Epstein and his family, he's got 2 little kids, and they moved out of the house early, and they like didn't pay the part of the deposit because they left early.
Sounds terrible.
And now they're just going to court over it. This whole thing is endlessly fascinating to me because the trials and tribulations of rich people just never cease to crack me up.
If you're that rich, why are you getting a house that has scorpions loose?
You think like you could pay pest control or something.
And if your dog pisses inside, like, you know how expensive some carpets are? That's probably
not $75,000.
Yes?
No.
Yes, Google that shit.
If you're a rich person, probably.
Well,
Yes.
those people are idiots.
No, I'm not saying they're smart. I'm just saying, why would you buy a house that has, I guarantee you that's what it's for.
And then rent it out.
That's stupid.
Yeah, spend $75,000 on rugs and then rent your house out to somebody with a dog. Like, that's fucking smart.
Makes no sense.
Oh, anyways. Let's move on to our movie review of the week. So this is the entire reason that John is here. He didn't come to see me. He wanted to talk about Zombieland too. Is that fair?
I came to see your dog as well.
Okay, that's also fair. So Zombieland Double Tap. We only waited 10 years for this movie to come out. Currently at 67% on Rotten Tomatoes, 92% from fans.
Ooh.
Brick, popcorn flick, yes or no?
Yeah, just because of what it is, I guess. It's a well,
I would say not to the same level as Gemini Man was last week, where all the critics were like, this is fucking terrible, and the fans were just like, what are you talking about? This was great.
like Will Smith is an amazing spaceman, or whatever it was. I don't know. I didn't see it.
Had nothing to do with space, but sure. But John, you came in and you were asking me about what critics' expectations are going into a movie like this, and that's kind of a good point.
So when I watched it on Thursday night, and when I got home, I thought the movie was fucking excellent, by the way. And when I got home, and it's just my type of movie. Like, some people think this sucks, but I like it. Very funny. I thought the acting was excellent for what they're doing. And I get home and I'm like, I'm going to go ahead and look up. I know you guys always talk about Rotten Tomatoes. So I looked it up, and it was 70%. And then, like you said, that's from the critics, and then the audience, it was much higher. So I go into the critics, and it has their top 20 critics or whatever it is, or whatever, the A-list. And the first one is a 1 out of 5. And his comment was like, you're barely going to make it through this one. And I was like, I fucking sat there and laughed. I was completely sober. And I laughed my ass off, and I was by myself, and I laughed my ass off the entire movie. And there were very few dull moments. Just a bunch of random stuff that happens. I'm not saying that you don't expect it to happen, but they put it all together really well. And I just thought it was really funny. The foreshadowing of certain things is just, I thought they did a good job. So I don't get it. Can you explain it?
I can, because these are the same people that are trying to tell you that movies like Call Me By Your Name or Manchester by the Sea are the best pieces of film that you could possibly watch.
Those movies sound like they suck. I've never even heard of them. They sound awful.
They're just Oscar winners from the last few years. No big deal.
Yeah.
But the whole point of going to a movie is to go in and you have certain expectations. Our guys from Watch It, our friends Daryl and I'm blanking, John, I think is his name. They talk about this shit all the time, where it's you need to watch this as though you're expecting XYZ. And going into this movie and expecting it to be, a tour de force where Woody Harrelson is emoting all over the place. That's not what you do. You go in and you watch it, and it's jokes, and there's some zombie beheadings, and anything outside of that you're expecting, you're to blame. So that's why ratings and we shit on Rotten Tomatoes constantly. I don't know why I still talk about it every episode. Brick, why do we still talk about Rotten Tomatoes?
I don't know. Let's stop talking about Rotten Tomatoes. Did you guys do a little did you know? Did you know this movie was originally intended to be a Left 4 Dead movie?
I did know that.
Nope.
I heard that when I was listening to last podcast on the left. They had the director on,
Ruben Fleischer.
Right. And that was a pretty good episode over there. But I didn't know that there was a Left 4 Dead movie. But that would explain the evolved zombie forms that they kind of came up with this time. And what'd you think of the cinematography? They had a couple of good one camera shots and stuff like that.
Now you sound like a fart sniffing movie critic. Cinematography in Zombieland double tap. Like,
wow.
What? Do you have a specific example?
I thought they had some pretty cool camera shots.
Okay. Name one.
When they did the fight between the doppelgangers, that kind of looked like it was a continuous one shot. It wasn't, I don't think, but it kind of like was. They did the whole walking around the entire, what was that? A hostel they were in, or a
hotel?
It was like that the Elvis Motel.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the whole flight through the whole Elvis Motel, and then in the first scene when they were clearing out for the White House, they had a pretty cool, little montage of them slaying
extra slow-mo. Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the director then. So Ruben Fleischer, you might not know the name, but he directed both Deadpool movies. He did Venom, obviously the original Zombieland. And I generally like this guy, but he's been saying some dumb shit lately about how people didn't give Venom a chance. Venom made $850 million at the box office. Who didn't give Venom a chance?
$0 from me.
Well, Mark and I and Brick saw it, so
I know.
It was soy lit.
No,
it was fine. It was, and it's getting a sequel. Like, what are you bitching about?
Yeah, they shouldn't be any bitching. It was
I guess,
lit. It was
and
fine.
Side note on this movie, they made this with a $45 million budget, which is fairly low, but I thought the production quality was high. You've got some high cost sets, I suppose. And
they had some great cameos. They had to pay those actors. I mean,
100%. And back to your did you know that Bill Murray was originally going to be played, that role was going to be given to Patrick Swayze?
Oh my God.
And he unfortunately passed away before they could make the original. Brick, you listened to that last podcast episode where Ruben Fleischer talked about this, and you're looking all surprised right now.
I was doing it for the camera, but whatever, man.
So the original intro scene, so they do the Ghostbusters thing with Bill Murray, and they got him last second. Woody Harrelson obviously knows Bill Murray because they did Kingpin together. But the idea was going to be for Patrick Swayze to, like, somebody was going to be doing pottery, and then somebody would walk up behind him and Swayze would slowly put his arms around, like from the scene in Ghost.
Wow.
Brilliant. And you could have done so many Roadhouse references and shit. And they talked about how they wanted to get Stallone in there or Schwarzenegger or somebody. Like, think about all the big name movies that you could do a callback to with any of those actors. That would have been amazing. But this works out pretty well too, so I'm not mad about it. Other things that you probably didn't know. Did you know, Brick, that this was supposed to be a TV series after the original?
No.
Surprise face. Good job. So Amazon made a pilot. It was not going to follow the original characters, obviously, because getting all of them in a TV show together would have been ungodly expensive, and they all went in to win Oscars and whatnot. So only got to the pilot stage. They did not pick it up, unfortunately. I would like to see where that would have gone. Just kind of like living in this ridiculous zombie universe.
Yeah, I feel like there's just unlimited things they can do with the things that they kind of brought up within the show themselves, like zombie kill of the year and all that other zombie kill of the week. And they just kind of had these little quick cuts to just massive zombies getting murdered,
Love it.
Just easy, just fun television.
Brick, you're a history buff. I personally love the, I guess, historical fiction kind of stuff that they do in this, except they do it while bringing in real artifacts. The diamond that he gives to Emma Stone is the Hope Diamond, which is one of the most famous diamonds in the world. Woody Harrelson at one point talks about wrapping a present in William Howard Taft's presidential painting, and he's like, "It's fine. He was the fattest president."
There's plenty left if you need some.
Fuck.
And they talk about the gun that Elvis gave to Richard Nixon, and I love little shit like that. And the fact that if you were to survive in this post-apocalyptic scenario, they're doing the kind of shit that normal people would probably do. You would probably go live in a mansion or the White House or something ridiculous. You would go to Bill Murray's house and you would stay there, because why the fuck not?
Exactly. There's no reason not to just go scouring about the wasteland of the apocalypse. The White House would be interesting because there's just a lot of, traps and weird things that you wouldn't know. So you can just like explore the White House, kind of. You know what I mean?
Well, it's kind of smart though, because you have to assume that the Oval Office is super reinforced, right?
Yeah, definitely. But you also don't want to press a button that puts someone through a trap door or what. I don't know if this is a
launch a nuke.
I don't know what the White House is. I don't know if it's
that wouldn't be that big of a deal at this point.
Probably true. It's probably aimed at Russia anyways. So let's talk about the cast a little bit. We got Woody Harrelson coming back, Jesse Eisenberg, obviously, Emma Stone, Abigail Breslin, Rosario Dawson is a new addition, Luke Wilson, Thomas Middleditch. How do you think that the acting in this was overall? John, I'll let you go first.
I thought it was really good. I wish that Luke Wilson and the other guy, what's his name?
Thomas Middleditch.
I wish that they lasted.
It's fine. Go ahead.
Okay.
Look, if you're expecting spoilers in this, it's a fucking Zombieland movie. There's not some major plot point that we're going to ruin, so it's fine.
Okay. They were fucking hilarious, right? When they rolled up, and when it happened, what I thought was going to happen is they were all going to get into a stupid fucking truck together and go fuck shit up. And so that scene was hilarious, and I just killed them off way too quickly. You know what I'm saying?
Fair.
It was cheesy. It was cheesy.
Yes, it was.
But it's a Zombieland movie.
Right.
So I thought the acting was spot on for what you're trying to do. I felt like going to talking about earlier in the movie Little Rock, they made her look like she was a big girl, and I don't know, I didn't really like her role at the beginning.
I hated her, absolutely. I hated her and I hated Madison, both of them.
See, I liked Madison.
Yeah.
I liked Madison because I thought it was funny. Little Rock was trying to be a bitch, and you know when you're trying to be a bitch and you're kind of
you're failing.
You're not even being a bitch, you're just being annoying. That's what I thought of her until right at the end, which we'll talk about later. But I thought Madison was the perfect dude. When her role emerged, I thought that was hilarious. And I made sure I didn't even know Luke Wilson was going to be in this movie. I watched the one trailer and then I didn't Google it at all or anything because I knew they were going to run into people, obviously, right?
Sure.
Otherwise, how are you going to have the fucking movie?
Yeah, otherwise there's no story.
There's no story. So they're going to run into somebody. So when I was sitting there and they started rolling and Luke Wilson's name popped up, I was like, hell yeah. I cannot wait until, the Madison part was when she came in, I thought it was hilarious. And I liked her.
I'm glad that most of this movie was focused on Woody Harrelson, Jesse Eisenberg, and Emma Stone.
Well, Woody Harrelson makes
yes.
There's no Zombieland without Woody Harrelson. And I say the same thing about the Jesse guy, Columbus. I say the same thing about him. Those two make it, and then Emma Stone, who doesn't love her.
Same. Can we just quickly digress? Is there anyone in Hollywood who is worse looking than Woody Harrelson, who gets scenes with the most gorgeous actresses in Hollywood? Name one, because I can't. Think about Alexandra Daddario in True Detective Season 1, where she is just completely naked as the day she was born on top of him, and it's just Woody Harrelson.
Yeah, I don't want to be the guy who says this. Whatever. Harvey Weinstein?
Oh, Jesus, dude.
Whoopsie.
Yeah, we're just gonna zoom right past that one. Brick, what did you not like about this movie?
Wow, good question. I honestly just really enjoyed it. I'm trying to think of something bad to say about it. The humor could have been a little better, but it was pretty funny though. There were some actual laugh out loud moments, when they did the rules versus the commandments, and they're just throwing rules back and forth at each other. I was actually dying. Rule number 41: just because it's the apocalypse doesn't mean you gotta be rude or something stupid. They had the lamest rules ever, and they just went back and forth it was that thing from Pitch Perfect, that riff off. They were just ruling off back and forth. It was great.
Yeah.
To me, that was more cringy, but I know that it was intentionally cringy, so I get it.
Exactly. So lame.
It was just to make the point how they were they mirrored each other.
How they were twins.
And
yeah.
It didn't need to go on as long as it did. I think is
Oh, fuck that. I loved every second of it. I wanted to know all of the rules, and I could have sat there. That could have been the whole movie, and I would have loved it.
Yeah, you would.
Also, how funny is throwing up and choking on liquids? I think that's the funniest way to turn into a zombie. It's just, you're just literally puking everywhere.
That's a weird takeaway, but sure.
First thing that came to mind is like, I wish Dee made a cameo in this movie just so she can turn into a zombie.
Just so she
would
can dry
be
heave.
so good at gagging.
Best in Hollywood. Fair.
I would love that.
Brick, you had some other questions you wanted to ask.
Okay, yes. John and Smithers, what's rule number 69 for the zombie apocalypse?
It's got to be a generous lover, or something like the golden rule, like do unto others as you would have them do unto you.
I think you should always do 69 instead of sex because you shouldn't populate this stupid world.
You should just make that up.
Yes, he 100%.
That was ridiculous.
Yeah, of course I made it up.
But he has how many rules does he have?
49 or something like that?
That's way off.
He has 73. He has 73 or 74, I think.
I think it's 70. It's 72 or 74, but 74 is my first instinct because that one scene with I told her a few. She's like, he told me 74. Are there more?
Yeah.
Madison, sexy ass.
I hated that girl so much.
Why?
Madison was a great character.
I had to
such a dick and didn't deserve to live at all because she's so stupid, but she was so funny.
I had to Google
that character.
I had to Google what she's from. You know what she's from?
What?
NCIS. She's Lauren in it. She's the best in that.
Never watched NCIS.
Really? No, she's awesome in NCIS, and she's like super smart, so it's just hilarious.
Well, she's got range then, but
Yep.
I think the problem is that I know some people who act that way, where they talk like this.
Yeah,
and that she is my bad impersonation of some of Erica's friends when they get drunk.
Oh, that's accurate.
Are
Probably a lot of the girls you hung out with at Eastern Illinois.
Oh my God, so good. Yeah, terrible.
It was so lit. I can't wait to go back. I can't wait to start saying soy all the time. It's so much fun.
All right, here's a question. How long would it take in the actual apocalypse for a hippie commune to be established? And how stupid do you have to be to abandon all your guns? Like, that's the dumbest shit ever.
The dumbest thing ever. It should have taken longer. Or it shouldn't have taken that long, I'm saying. They should have gotten ran up on so much quicker. But I guess they did have a nice little system going for the most part.
It made what didn't make sense to me is like, yeah, they had a wall around them. What's the movie I'm thinking of? World War Z?
Yeah, you mean where they climb the wall?
Like you're gonna have a wall that's great, and then you're gonna shoot off fireworks and play that stupid type of guitar. What's it called? And you think that no zombies are gonna come? There's no way.
Yeah, they're obviously idiots.
Oh yeah, they're dumb hipster doofus idiots. I mean, what's more? I have a theory that Woody Harrelson was actually just being a psychopath and letting all the zombies up there just to get the kill of the century.
Yeah,
because
100%.
when you're watching it, like the zombies aren't going the same direction. He's like leading them that way. You know, and he's kind of going back and he's off on his own. One thing you got to do is just go kill zombies. That was his whole origin story.
Right.
I think he actually just was a psychopath.
And I won't get into too much detail on it, but they do drop an actual building on some zombies. You, Brick, you obviously have been thinking about this. What is your zombie kill of the year?
I didn't think about it.
You asked me the question and you didn't think.
Yeah. No, I thought you said you thought it took creativity, and you're like, I don't have any creativity. So then I was like, all right.
I was thinking when they were setting it up, the way that they went about it, I was thinking that he was luring zombies into like a landmine or something. And they completely went out of left field with that shit. And that cracked me up. I was not expecting that at all. I know, John, you were talking about this movie being, I guess, predictable, which of course it is. It's a zombie movie.
Right.
Did they sufficiently raise the stakes enough for you think?
Yeah, because I don't think the stakes were all that high in the first one. It was just survival. And in this case, they just add people and want them to survive.
I know the last time I was on here, it was the Pikachu movie. And we talked about how they just wrapped it up at the end. And it was ridiculous. I thought this was like, I thought they did a great job, and we'll talk about that later. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
Generally, you only ask that question if you disagree. So, do you disagree, Brick?
No.
Okay.
Great. Thank you for adding to the conversation. So let's just open it up, and anything else you have to say about this before we get into our recommendations. John, what do you got?
Anything else I have to say about this?
Yeah.
I got a couple things I got to say about it. Actually, no, I don't have a couple things. The one thing that I thought was absolutely hilarious is when Madison, who you said you didn't like.
Hater.
Okay. Remember when they're in the car and she's talking about Uber. You remember that scene?
She's pitching what Uber would be.
She's
today.
the dumbest person in the world. Literally at the time, too. Probably would have been before the zombie apocalypse.
Fair.
And she invented Uber. She's sitting there and she goes, where they just like pick you up and you just pay them. Like, she's talking about how taxis suck. And they're like, what's his name?
They just shit on her.
Columbus is like, what if they're trying to murder you? Or it might have been Tallahassee. I don't even remember. But what if they try to murder you? And she's like, well, then you give them like a 1 out of 5. And like, if they don't try to murder you, give them like a 5 out of 5. And I was like, damn.
I thought it's a really well written bit because the world as we would have known it ended in 2009, right? When the whole mad cow thing spreads to humans and all of a sudden, so society just didn't advance past that. So I think that's a very well done bit where they take advantage of, hey, the last time we saw you was 2009. So totally agree.
And then another thing was when they finally get to Graceland and they run into Nevada, and she when she's talking about Murraying and she says that I was about to go to the bathroom too, and I went to stand up and I heard her say Murraying, and Columbus immediately goes, what? And she goes, that if I find that bastard that killed Murray, I swear to God, like I'm gonna do worse to him, or whatever she says. And he's standing there like shitting his pants.
Mm-hmm.
That was just like the little things like that. That's why I liked it. I appreciate this movie.
Yeah, he does a very good, awkward, nervous talk. Jesse Eisenberg does. So you're talking about Rosario Dawson, who just adds to my list of women that would never give Woody Harrelson the time of day.
But smashed.
Yeah, she's gorgeous. And I thought she was a great addition to this movie as well. So, Brick, you got anything else you want to talk about with this?
I think they just did some really nice jabs back and forth. I wish I kind of watched the first one more recently to catch some more of those little Easter eggs. But just the jabs were fantastic. I think Emma Stone has just an all-time face when Madison comes back into the car and she's talking about what? You didn't mind when I was biting you last night. Emma Stone's fucking face was so good.
Yes.
Ugh. I couldn't stop. It was fantastic. Also, just when I left that movie, I walked out like with a smile on my face, just couldn't take it away. So I think this is like a see it movie for me.
Okay.
I think we should rate it.
Okay. I think I'm kind of biased because Zombieland, the first movie, is one of my favorites. It's something you were talking, John, about movies that you'll watch like once a month. Every couple of months, I will go watch the original. I think it's still on Netflix. It was recently.
I watched it last week.
Okay. I will go watch this movie, and it's something like if you're flipping through channels, well, first of all, don't watch it on cable because they'll cut all the good parts out. But yeah, this is a see it for me, but I'm probably biased. John, would you see it, stream it, or skip it?
I'd see it as well. I loved this movie. I thought it was amazing. And I know
I love this fucking movie.
You think I'm kidding, but you could ask. I texted Mark when I saw the trailer, the day I saw the trailer, I texted Mark and I was like, so I'm doing the Zombieland movie, right? And he's like, well, I'll be in Europe.
Yeah, you texted me like a month ago. You're like, I'm doing this
trying to bang Rufus Del Sol. So I was like, okay, cool. I'm going to text Smithers then. And he's like, yeah, text him. So yeah, go see it now.
All right. I think that's a ringing endorsement, and don't listen to critics about this movie because
no, they're idiots.
You know what you like, and if you like stupid zombie movies, you will like this movie. That's it.
Great October flick.
Yes.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yep.
All right. Let's do some recommendations for the week. I don't know if you guys have been keeping up with South Park, but they are crushing it right now with all this stuff they're doing about China and
with the burgers.
Integrity weed.
Burgers.
Yeah.
Dude, they're on point this year.
If you Google it, and I'm just giving some more homework here, there is a side-by-side of the speech that LeBron James gave stupidly earlier this week where he's saying like people don't know what they're talking about and, you know.
Yeah.
Basically defending China. There's a side-by-side of Cartman's speech this week in this week's episode versus him, and it's verbatim, same pacing and timing and everything, and it's brilliantly done. So if you're not watching South Park right now, you're fucking up. One other thing that I was talking about, this came out on Hulu earlier this week, I think. Little Monsters, starring Lupita Nyong'o and Josh Gad. It's another dumb zombie movie. If you liked Zombieland, go watch this on Hulu because it's pretty much the same thing. It's probably not quite as funny, but it's really dumb and there are zombies. I don't know what else to say about it. Can't recommend it enough. Brick, what have you been watching this week?
I just started that Paul Rudd show that is on Netflix currently, Living with Yourself. So he's like, I honestly can't explain it. It's Paul Rudd. I'm so on it. I'm soy on it. Soy far. And
what's it about?
But I am interested to see how it like wraps up.
Okay, what's it about?
I really don't want to give away anything because Paul Rudd's in a rut and he kind of goes to this spot to figure out like it reinvigorates yourself. And as he's going into this place, he like sees Tom Brady walking out and he's like, holy shit, how many times have you done this, man? And he's like 6. It's just like, so basically it's like the Rick and Morty episode where they suck out the bad stuff from you, kind of show like that.
And he's all the bad stuff, or?
And you'll have to find out. So,
okay.
But
wow, you're quite the pitch man.
Yeah, a terrible pitch man, but I'm interested to see how this ends up.
Okay. John, have you been watching anything this week?
Yes.
Besides Clemson football and anything else that you gambled on?
All I do is just follow their practices. I fly a droid, so I watch their practices. But besides that, I actually just started. I watched it last night. I watched the first episode, Unnatural Selection. You hear about that?
No.
Hear about that?
On Netflix. Yeah.
On Netflix, a short series. It's about genetic hackers and this guy Josiah Zahner. And I didn't write down a bunch of notes. I just wrote down his name. But basically, he used to work for NASA. And it's about genetic modifications and obviously playing God, all that stuff.
Like CRISPR?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. CRISPR.
Okay.
So it opens. I just watched the first episode, and it opens with this dog breeder, and what he's trying to do is he's trying to get a dog to glow, which sounds ridiculous.
Yes, it does.
Right, but he's taking the jellyfish gene and he's trying to insert it into the dog. And he does. He puts it in their sperm, and he looks at the sperm, and the sperm's glowing.
This is how we get zombies, for real.
Well, the purpose of it is there's good to it, and there's obviously bad to it. So then the other guy, and I don't remember his name but they go to Martha's Vineyard, and they're trying to find a small community where if it does fuck up, it can't fuck up that bad.
Jesus, it just destroys an entire community.
No, so this is what it is though. They take the mice, okay? So the mice get that ticks attached to the mice, right? They give them Lyme disease. They give them all those diseases and shit, right? Mm. And it spreads to us. It spreads to your dog over there, Smithers.
No.
Did he get his Lyme shot?
Yes, he did.
Good. But so what they did is they got some mice, they collected them, and they made them immune, okay, to Lyme disease, to all that shit. So they changed their genomes. They made them immune to them. And what they're doing is they're trying to send them out. So they're trying to find like a small area, like I said, Martha's Vineyard, somewhere that's kind of closed off. And they're trying to test this because those mice will go out and then they will breed with the other mice. And they made it so that they are whatever it's called, like the superior gene, so that all of those mice,
dominant traits.
Yeah. So all of those mice will be immune to all those diseases. Therefore, they won't spread at all. So it's super interesting. And like I said, this Josiah Zahner guy is now he's just some biochemist, but he worked for NASA, and you can literally go online and order this stuff and do it yourself. And that was his whole thing, was like, somebody, you always think, and this is like the villain movies that you guys probably watch and I don't care about, is where it's like the rich villain that does something awful. You know what I mean? Right. He gets some technology. What he's saying is he wants it available for everybody, because it's going to be that one guy in his garage that does something spectacular and cures cancer. Is the point. You know what I mean?
And then big pharma companies will come and kill that guy.
And then they'll kill that guy and they'll be like, no, we have the formula and we're not going to release it.
Tune in next week for our next conspiracy episode.
Yeah. No, but it seems super interesting. I watched one episode. I sat there and watched the entire thing. I usually turn that shit off right away and turn on Bob's Burgers. So
Bob's Burgers is great, by the way.
Yeah, it is.
All right. Well, that's a great recommendation. So thank you for that. And thank you for joining the show, John. Yep. And Brick, thank you for rolling out of bed, I guess, in a different time zone and not doing mushrooms, but maybe do mushrooms next week.
Yeah.
Word.
As always, you can find us on all social media at the Chumpcast. You can also call or text us at 847-920-6107. Thanks to everybody that hopped into the stream this week. Next week, I don't know what movie's coming out, but until next time, Brick.
Chumps out.
Peace.
Cool.